All right, everybody, for those who don't know, my name is Michael Forrest, and welcome to It's Quest Time. Now, let's see who we have here. We have Kieran, welcome, and welcome Tia Jane, C23. All right, well, before I set out here, I'd just like to quick say thank you to Ben, who made possible our slides, because Altspace had taken away our displays because of a security problem that they're working on. While they're working on a solution, Ben's come up with a temporary measure to let us have our slides again, so we're very grateful for that. Also, what Quest Time is about is Quest Time is an event for Oculus Quest users, but all are welcome. So if you're on a device, feel free to hang out. You may pick up some useful tips or information that'll help the growing Quest community. There's new Quest users arriving in Altspace each and every day, and eventually their numbers will grow so large they'll take over the campfire and we'll rule Altspace. But maybe that's not actually a plan. But yeah. All right. So let's see. Also, before we get going, I'm going to ask you guys not to send me any text messages while I'm up here. It can really throw me off because, you're moving around doing the whole hosting thing, and all of a sudden there's this wall of text right in front of your face. It can be really distracting. So if you have anything like that, please hold it till the end, or better yet, join our Discord. It really is the best way to reach us. Also, if you'll notice in the lower left of your display there, you're going to see at the top of your menu wheel is a microphone icon. When that microphone icon is clear, that means we can hear everything happening in your environment, and I do mean everything. So, we've gone ahead and we've turned that to red, and that means that you're muted. So if somebody's in your space and, ask you, hey, are you still on that thing? Feel free to answer them, because we're not going to hear any of that. Likewise, if maybe you have a barking dog in the background, you're not going to face social ruin back at the campfire by becoming known as the avatar that suddenly started barking during its quest time. But just because you're muted does not mean you can't express yourself. You're going to notice that you have this pink cheap smiley face in your menu wheel, and it offers you a wide variety of options with which to express yourself. When you press it up, your emoji panel opens up there, and and if I say something really deep here, when it touches you down there and it starts to build up inside, you can just let it out, just let it flow, just like that. Maybe, just maybe, I got some backup dancers backstage, and they come on out here and they break it. It's Quest Time, the musical, and you're all very impressed by the production value. You can throw up the applause I live for, and I can take a moment to drink it all in because it feels good. If I ask you guys a yes or no question, you can say yes by smiling like this. You can say no by frowning like that. Or maybe I say or do something funny. You can show me you're laughing like that by doing that silly face emoji, just like that. And then there's this thing. This is by far the most distracting of all the emojis. And we're going to use this as kind of a signal. This isn't how you ask questions. We will be taking questions and comments at the end. But if there's something wrong, like my voice is choppy, or maybe my moderators had seen one too many quest times and they set the stage on fire, it has happened before. It will happen again. When that occurs, you need to let me know about that kind of thing. That's going to be our pact, our sacred bond between me and you, the audience. Now, you can press that X in the middle of the emoji panel to make it go away. But it's a good idea to leave it open during events like this because it gives me some feedback. It lets me know how I'm doing. But more importantly, it lets the person next to you know what you're experiencing. So if the person next to you starts going like this, right? They found something funny, and you may not agree. You might be like, "That's not funny at all. I'm going to go stand over here. I don't know what's with this guy, right?" And you can totally do that. Not maybe here because we agree that you guys, wouldn't stay on the stage. That's part of our bond, right? Part of our pact. We don't want to violate that. All right, cool. So let's get going here. Let me ask you guys some quick questions so I know how to set out. How many of you guys are on the quest right now? Show up some hearts. Put your hands up because you can if you're on the quest. Let me see. Any quest users here today? All right, cool. Excellent. Very cool. Very cool. All right. Oh, wow. A lot of you. That's cool. All right. So how many of you are new to the quest? Like you recently got your quest? Any new quest users? Smiles, hands up, anything like that? Kind of new, sort of new. All right, cool. All right. How many of you are new to Altspace? Any new Altspace users? No new Altspace users. Oh, one. Okay. Well, welcome to Altspace. I think you're going to enjoy it. Got some cool stuff in here. All right, cool. That gives me some idea of what to do here. Listen, when I was first waiting for my quest to arrive, I grew up in Brooklyn, right? So I'm used to talking with my hands a lot. And I was on an Oculus Go at the time. And as some of you may know, an Oculus Go only has one controller. So when I'm in Altspace and I'm moving around like this, I didn't really feel like I was expressing myself as fully as I could. So I couldn't wait for that hand to arrive. And when it finally did, and when my quest arrived, I took a good look at the controls, and I'm like, man, those are a lot of buttons. They really are. It's a lot to take in at first, and I like to get everybody kind of used to the controls. But, listen, if you're here today, you already know the basics. You already know the left thumbstick moves you around like this. You know, the right thumbstick moves you around in these circles, but when you combine them, you get these big elaborate circles that make my presentation so much more dramatic. If everybody can give that a try, go into these big circles here, because when I look out in the audience, it's going to look like you guys are ballroom dancing. Let me see what you got. All right, that's not bad. Kind of fancy. Kind of fancy. I always say I wish you guys could see what this looks like, and now you can. You'll notice Raven Eye floating up in the air there. That's our YouTube camera. So if you want to feel VR famous, go ahead and just wave on up. Be like, hey, YouTube, how's it going? We got Hummingbird in here. We've got Tia Jane. We've got Morgan Forrest. We've got Ghost. We've got Yee. We've got Kieran up in the balcony. Now we're right in front of you. Now you can see Kieran in the blue. All right, we got a lot of good people in here. Come on in. I think you're going to enjoy it a lot. All right, so let's take a look at what we got here. I lost my laser pointer. Oh, that's not good. That's terrible. We should have that out already. What's going on with that? All right, cool. Let's get that out here. Laser pointer. There we go. All right, let's take a good look here at what we got. Now, listen, if you're having a standing experience or, room scale experience, you're going to notice that from time to time, when you walk out past your main menu, that's usually the time, and I don't know why this was, that's usually the time somebody asks you to open your main menu. And you're going to look around, you'll be like, oh, where is this thing? It's happening again. And they'll be like, just that blue and white triangle button on your left. And you'll be like, there is no button. I don't know where it is. And usually it's behind you. You got to remember that on an Oculus Quest, your main menu is in your hands at all times. On your left controller, down toward the bottom, you have this flat button right here. All right, now when you press that button, your main menu is going to open up. I like to combine this with like a, cool action. Like I move my wrist out like that, and my menu's open. I move my wrist again like that, and my menu's closed, just like that. You don't have to do that. It's not going to make it work any differently, but feel free to use it if you like. All right. Also, when I first came into Altspace on my Quest, I was like, I was really high up there when I came into the campfire the first time. I was feeling good, right? I was like floating on air. And then I looked down and I found out why. I was floating about this high off the ground. So all the other avatars were shorter than me. If somebody's willing to change their vertical height for me, maybe come up like a little bit high or a little, scooch down on the floor a little bit. Let's see, Morgan, get an example here. All right, come on up where they can see you. All right, cool. Let's see, change your vertical height there, maybe possibly? No? Okay. Nobody's willing to do this today. Okay, that's a first. That's unusual. All right, but if you find that you're feeling too, here we go. We got Yee over here. Yee, come up where people can see you. Go over, like, on the rug here. All right, now, if Yee presses down on his left thumbstick, show everybody what happens, Yee. Boom, just like that. So what happens is if you're feeling too tall or you're feeling too short, you can change your vertical height at any time just by pressing on that left thumbstick. Now, it pays to look ahead when you do this because if you're looking down, it's going to pop you up just a little bit. If you're looking straight ahead, though, that's about the right height because if you had feet, they'd be on the floor right now. All right, that's how that height gets adjusted. All right, also what you have here is on your right teleport, on your right controller, this raised up button here. This is a teleport button. If everybody's willing to kind of join me along this wall here, we can give it a try. If you press and hold down your teleport button and aim it at the ground, you're going to get this blue circle or target that appears on the floor. And if you aim it across the room, as soon as you let go, boom, you get thrown right across the room, just like that. Now, also on your left controller, your left trigger button, if you squeeze your index finger, this is going to cause you to accelerate if you're walking or flying. So if you do that, we can go into like a giant circle here. We can make a tornado. We can make a hurricane, people. Let's make it rain, everybody. Let's see what we got. Go in this big old circle here. Here we go. Let's see how you're doing. If anyone's getting dizzy, you probably shouldn't do that thing. Let me see. That's kind of circular. You guys are doing more of a figure eight kind of thing. I mean, overall, it's not very disappointing. It's a pretty good job. Anybody getting dizzy yet? Raise a hand up if you're getting dizzy. If you're getting dizzy, you probably shouldn't do it. All right, cool. Let's see here. What else do we have? Actually, if you combine that going fast thing, right? If you like face the stage and kind of go backwards like this, you can teleport at the ground and do the equivalent of the Altspace moonwalk, just like that. Hopefully that's not a copyright violation because that would be bad. Let's see. Also, when I was first, getting a handle on this stuff, right? Like actually one time I was presenting and I come down in the audience a lot. You might have noticed that. And what I noticed was as I, come down in the audience, I got kind of crowded by everybody. And I found that I could just reach my hand over my head like this and teleport backwards. So if you ever need to, you got that. You can teleport backwards. It's going to be fun. And when I was first getting used to this stuff, I was hanging out at the Universe. And back then, the Universe was held in this very large world. And at the end of the event, I walked over to the edge and I looked over and I went a little bit too far and I fell off the world. Right? Sounds weird, right? But as I'm falling, I look over and I see this cliff there and I aimed my teleporter at it and I teleported right on that cliff to safety because it's not like you can get hurt in all space. But, but I finally realized I was getting a handle on the controls. It only takes a few days to about a week or so till you really get used to it. But trust me, there's going to come a time where you'll always feel the plastic in your hands, right? But, there's going to come a time when these actually become your hands. All right, you're not going to think about them. Like if I say, hey, everybody, look out that window. I don't think about how I'm doing that. I just do it. It takes more effort to explain it. And just how I'm making those gestures is what I do is if you hold down your third finger on the side button on your controllers, your fingers are going to go into this point, right? And you can use this in a variety of ways. You can give me a Brooklyn hello. Everybody go like this. Give me a Brooklyn hello. There you go. right, some of you knew this was coming. Some of you were doing this first. All right, cool. You can put your hands together like this and kind of make a picture frame. You know, how cool would it be to be able to take screenshots like this? You just squeeze your trigger button, like to snap the photo. Be like, yeah, that's nice. Snap, 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 like that. You can do that. Also, if you put them together, you can make a triangle with your fingers like this, kind of make the Altspace logo, right? Hold it up high. Show me a little bit of Altspace pride, everybody. Let me see. Put them up high. Get a good stretch going on in here. Well, that's not high at all. Put them up there, Stevie. Stevie G, put them as high as you can. There you go. All right, cool. Very nice. All right, now, also what you can do here is, let's see. Yeah, that's good. Oh, yeah. Also, if you if you hold down your side buttons and your trigger button, you give me 2 thumbs up. Let me know I'm doing a good job. Be like, yeah, you're doing a good job. Maybe I'm not. Like, you really kind of lost your place there, Michael Forrest. I don't know. I expect more from you. You can give me 2 thumbs down. Maybe you're not sure yet. You could give me a little bit of both. You know, I've been seeing people do this. I don't know what that's about. I'm not quite sure what that means. If you touch your thumbs to the buttons or the thumbsticks, you're going to find that your thumbs go down, and you can kind of alternate them into like this kind of cool dance move, right? This is how I dance in VR. Or you can get your rage on, like Tia Jane over here. She's like, yeah. Well, maybe that's cheering. You know, maybe that's not rage at all. It's like, yeah, go, Michael Forrest, go. So you're going to have like, basically, listen, if you see somebody doing something that you like right now, like let's say what Tia Jane is doing is really cool, everybody can just copy her, right? And that's how you make these gestures your own. Like the first Quest time we ever had, we had somebody come up to the stage and go like this. And I just thought it was neat. So I did it back. And the next thing you know, the entire audience was going like this, right? And that's really how you make these gestures your own, just by mimicking them. And, you'll pick them up. And then after a while, you won't think about them, all right? Because they're just going to be automatic after a while. All right, let's see what else we have here. All right, now, if, like you don't press this now, but this button on your right controller down to on the bottom, this flat one, you have to think about this as kind of an eject button. So if somebody comes into your space and says, hey, you're still on that thing, or they say dinner's ready, you can just be like, gotta go, and you press that bottom button there, and that's going to take you to the Oculus main menu, and there you're going to have an option to quit or resume, which is great, because if you press this by accident, like you're dancing around the Universe and you're a little too into it, and all of a sudden you press that button, right, you can just press resume, you'll come right back in, and it'll be like you never left. Yunji won't know, and she won't destroy you with her awesome admin powers. But this is also a good idea to press when things go wrong, right? So say I'm looking out the window there, right, and I'm like, oh, wow, that looks nice. And if I turn my head back, the whole world kind of moves with me. This can make you feel really dizzy in VR, right, when that happens, right? But so it's good to know, have a fast route out. So all you would do is press that eject button, press quit, and restart the app, and this is going to solve most of your problems. All right, occasionally something more severe might happen, like maybe I look to the left and there's this big black void, and I'm like, oh no, the black void. And then I look to the right, and I look up and I look down, and all around the edge of the screen is this black void, and all of your friends are like frozen in space like this, right? So, and you're like, uh-oh, something bad's happened. And you press that eject button, and nothing happens. And you're going to be like, Michael Forrest lied to me. I will have my revenge. But, you don't that's really not what's going on here. What happened is the app froze, and this can happen in other apps too. So it's important to know how to deal with this. All right. The way to deal with this is you're going to restart your device. But I see you have a question there, Tia Jane. We will be taking questions and comments at the end. All right. So, hang on to that. All right. But, occasionally when that happens, when you get that happens where you get that void thing, or, something severe happens, it pays to know how to restart your headset while it's still on your head. When I first got my Quest, I would take my headset off to restart it. But when it's not in a charge cycle and it doesn't light up and it takes so long to restart it, sometimes that, you feel like, especially when you're in a rush for some reason, it pays to know how to restart it while it's still on your head. And the way to do this is if you take your right index finger and you swipe it up and down on the side of your device, you're going to notice, right, you've got the raised up power button there. And if you press it, if you take your left index finger and you put them together, you can squeeze them together and maybe go into like a deep concentration pose. Like I put my head down when I do it like that, and I focus really hard. And after 4 seconds, I concentrate so hard, my avatar disappears, and I get plunged into the darkness, but I don't let go. I just hang in there. And after about 10 seconds, I start wondering, man, why did Oculus take so long to restart your device? I don't know. After about 15 seconds, I start thinking about friends I haven't seen in a while. I wonder how they're doing. After about 20 seconds, I start thinking about life. I start thinking about the big questions, And then all of a sudden, right, the Oculus logo appears like the bat signal. And when it starts to pulse, I just take my fingers away and I look up, all right, and my device starts as normal. And this is going to take care of most of the problems that you're going to experience, not just on Altspace, but on the Quest as well. It's a great way to reset everything and make everything right again. Occasionally, when something more severe happens, like there was one time I come out of Altspace and there was this message on the screen. It says, Oculus Home is closing. And there was this blue button that said, okay. It was the only choice. So I pressed okay. Now, if that happens again, I just do that deep concentration pose because I don't trust that when that happens. And here's why. I pressed OK, and the screen just said loading. And I waited about 2 minutes, and it just said loading. So I did my deep concentration pose, right, and the device restarted, and the screen still said loading. So something serious was going on. So I turned to Google. Google is my friend. Google knows all the things. And Google said a lot of people were having this problem, and the best thing I could do was a factory reset, right? And you got to remember, when you do a factory reset, I mean, it's a great option because it's going to put put the device back the way it was the day you got it. But any pictures that you have saved on your device, you're going to lose those. You're going to have to download all of your apps. You won't have to pay for them again, so that's some good news there. But it's going to reset everything the way it was the day you got it. And if you have any pictures, you're going to lose that stuff. You're also going to lose your preferences on your apps. So you might even lose your Beat Saber scores, people. It's serious business. You're going to have to start all over with Beat Sabers. All those times you took down your friends, you're going to have to do it all over again. All right, so, be aware of that in case you ever need to do it. It's good to know that you have that option, though. Now, if you're here today, you're already familiar with the Guardian system. You've already done the tour, you danced with the robot, you played with the blimp, it was awesome, right? But what you may not be aware of is how to use the Guardian system to your advantage in Altspace, right? Remember earlier when we were going around the room in that circle, some of you might have felt dizzy, right? Well, if you experience dizziness in VR, you can actually use your Guardian system to combat this. You could also, even if you're not on a Quest, you can take a good look at your hand, right? And just focus on that hand for a moment until that dizziness passes. And as soon as that dizziness passes, just slowly take away your hand and take in the world around you. All right. But also, you can use your Guardian system for this purpose. And I like to tell people when they mess with their Guardian system, be very careful, and especially if you're new to VR, and lead with your hands, because a lot of times in Altspace, you'll see somebody walking along, they look like they're having a good day, and then all of a sudden, bam, they hit a real world wall, because those real world walls are a menace. They're a problem, people, and they need to be stopped. What you need to do is just lead with your hands like this, and when you get close to the edge of your space, like if I walk up to my real world wall right now, and I've got my hands out, that grid's going to appear in the air in front of me, right? And leading with my hands gives me a little bit of space to navigate this. But if I hold my hands up, I can hold that grid right in front of me, but I can still move my thumbsticks, right? So I can move my avatar around in VR, all right? And I can line up my avatar with this display here, and I can kind of anchor myself to the real world by making this display match my wall. And then I could back up, I can kind of take it all in there and see how it is and how balanced I feel. And all of a sudden, I fall off the stage. I'm in the audience, right? Now, let's say you guys aren't friendly, right? If you guys mess with me, like stick your hands in my face and just kind of throw me off here, give me the worst you got, really. Just like really, really let me have it. I can still see that display. You guys aren't even trying. Really friendly crowd today. You'll notice I'm not losing my place. I'm having no problem talking. It's really like not bothering me or affecting me in any way because I can still see that display no matter what you guys do. I mean, now you're doing a better job, but still, it's really not that great. If you also line it up with, like, say, the edge of the stage with a real world table or a real world desk, this is going to make you feel anchored to the real world. This is going to serve to make you feel more comfortable, and it's going to help your balance a lot. All right. And that's a good thing right there. Now, also, you can transition from a room scale experience to a stationary experience pretty effortlessly in Altspace. Like, let's say I'm up here right now. You know what? I've hosted over 350 events in Altspace, and I'm tired, man. I'm exhausted. I can't go on anymore, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk up to the edge of my space here, right? I'm going to see I got enough room for my head to go through. And when I stick my head through, or now they have this, an experimental feature where you can double tap the headset, which is awesome. You like go tap, tap, and then I can see the real world, right? And I see I got my coffee right here. I drink some, I throw it down because I'm messy like that. And then I look over there and I see I've got my chair in the corner. So I'm going to go sit in that right now because I'm tired, right? So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to turn around. I'm going to sit in my chair. And as soon as I get comfortable, I press that blue button saying I want to have a stationary experience, right? And next thing you know, that grid comes up, right? And I find not only am I still in VR, but I'm still in Altspace. I never left. And this works in the other direction too. There was one time I was moderating an event and I'm there and I felt like getting up and walking around. So I figured I'm going to stand up, right, and go into my Guardian and everything's going to be okay. But sometimes the Quest can lose your Guardian system, right, due to changing light levels or for one reason or another, it can't resolve where it is in your space. And it figures, just draw me another boundary, right? No big deal. But when there's 2 minutes left in the event, it's a very big deal. So I start to draw up my boundary, right? And I'm drawing it out and I'm wondering, why is my play space so big anyway? Right. And then I'm thinking to myself, of all the times I'm in Bird, of all the times I had to moderate for an admin, why did it have to be today? And as soon as I close that loop, that grid comes up out of the ground and I find not only am I still in VR, but I'm still in Altspace. I never left. All right. So you can be comfortable when you're in here. You can transition from a room scale to a stationary experience, no problem. And I think it pays to know that. This next thing I'm going to show you is not useful at all. It's just cool. All right. If you go up to the edge of your space and make sure you got enough room for your head to go through it, right? If you put your head through, you see the real world camera goes off, the pass-through camera goes off, you can see the real world. If you do this super slow, there's going to be like this little sweet spot where you can see both realities at the same time. And it really gives you an idea of the scale of the avatars in Altspace. Like when you can see an avatar standing in your living room, you'll see that the avatars are about 6 feet tall, and they're a lot wider than you would think too, right? And it really, it doesn't really hit you about the scale difference until you see them in a familiar environment, like your living room or your office or wherever it is you VR from, right? Now, the great thing about the Quest is it just works, okay? It doesn't mean it can't be improved, though. There's a variety of accessories that can make it work even better. Like, for example, those earbuds that hang down from the sides. Listen, the sound on the Quest is fantastic. There's no, there's feedback, or it's just really good. I wasn't expecting much when I got these, so I went to the campfire to test them out. Right, I go to the campfire, I got them all, and I don't know what I look like when I'm in VR, but with these earbuds dangling down like VR earrings, I like to think they make me look fancy. So I go to the campfire, right, and I'm gonna go check it out. And did you guys know there's a breeze in the campfire? I've been in Altspace for like a year and a half, and nobody told me that. I went up to that fence there, and I heard the water going by, right? And I was like, wow, I didn't know that either. It turns out there's a lot of like ambient sound in Altspace that can make the experience much more immersive, right? Really pull you in, really make you feel like you're here, and that's kind of what it's all about. All right. Also, you're going to notice there's a lot of people that go around saying that the Quest is uncomfortable. In the beginning, I thought that was true. Oculus doesn't give enough like advertisement about the fact that there's a breaking in period for your headset, right? When I first got my headset, I developed a sore on my forehead from it. It was very uncomfortable. But in a couple of days, to like, a few weeks actually, the oils in your face are actually going to soften the material of the insert, and that's going to actually affect the balance of the device. You're going to also find the tensions of the springs, that'll change, and it's going to affect the overall balance of your device. But some people, when they first get the device and find it's uncomfortable, they're like, you know what, I'm going to fix this. I'm going to get myself a counterbalance weight. I'm going to get an external battery pack. I'm going to get all these kind of things. And what they do is they change the balance of the device, and then in a couple of weeks, when the device is broken in, the balance gets thrown off again, and they go around telling everybody, oh, you know what, the Quest is very uncomfortable. Cool device, but it's very uncomfortable. And it's not true. All right. What you'll find is if you wait for this breaking in period, to be over, and that's the time, if you're going to modify the device, if you find after a few weeks it's still uncomfortable, that's the time to try it. You're going to find, like, for example, we've got these inserts from VR Cover. They're really nice. They make you feel like you got a face and a pillow. They give you two of them so you can wash one while the other ones are used. Keep it nice and hygienic. Very important these days. And and also, if you'll find that they have these prescription inserts, those are also really good if you wear eyeglasses, because listen, if you scratch your eyeglasses and your VR lenses, that can get pretty expensive. All right, so that's a good preventative measure if you wear glasses. Also, listen, the box the Quest comes in is fantastic. It's really great. But if you're going to be moving around and traveling a lot, you can't go wrong with one of these travel cases. And listen, if you'd like to try any of these products, you can find them by going to altvr.com. And at altvr.com, you'll find in the upper left, there's a link that says channels. Now, when you click on channels, you're going to see all these wonderful Altspace channels. And down toward the bottom, the admins assure me that doesn't mean anything. But down towards the bottom, you're going to see Ravenhole events. All right. And if you click on that, you get taken to our event page. And on our event page on the left-hand side, you'll see all these products there if you want to try any of them out. Also, there's a join Discord button if you'd like to say hello or ask us questions or help us put on events like this. It's a great place to find us. And in the upper right is the most important button on the internet, the subscribe button. Listen, when you guys subscribe to us, we don't get paid to do this, so it makes us feel good when we see those numbers go up, right? Let's also know that you enjoy our content. Also a great way to support us is by clicking on the subscribe button on YouTube if you check out our YouTube channel. And if you're watching out on YouTube and you want to try these products, you'll find them in links to them in the description below. All right. Now, that being said, we are going to take your questions or comments. You know what? When I was going over the controls, I forgot to show you guys how to use the grip button. Right, my bad. Let's see. So we're going to have to give you can use those to grab basketballs. You can use them to grab fireworks. If you're building worlds, you can, use your hands there to grab one of them. I'm just throwing a couple of these out because in case you haven't tried that side button to grab objects in VR or Altspace, just give them a chance to, give it a try and throw them around while we ask questions. All right, cool. Let's see. I'm getting a message. I'm choppy. When I get back, we'll open up for questions and comments. Right. So let me just re-enter the space because I tend to clear that up. All right, maybe throwing those out wasn't the best idea. Here we go. Let me come on in here. I'll be right back, everybody. All right. Let's see. There we go. Couldn't see everybody at first. I was like, where'd everybody go? The room's empty. I wasn't gone that long. Come on. All right, let's see here. So now we're going to take your questions and your comments. And the way this is going to work is you're going to notice in your lower right, a raise hand button is going to appear as if by magic. Now, if you have a question or you have a comment, just press on that raise hand button. It'll turn blue and you'll get on my list. While we're waiting for that list to fill up, if you have, if you want to follow us on Twitter, you can find us at _ Uncanny Valley. Oh, I lost my slide. That's not cool. Let me just grab that back here. All right, that should do it. Let's see here. There we go. Oh, wait, whoa, too far. What's going on there? All right. Weird. Okay. That's strange. Okay. Well, I just completely lost my place. There we go. That's better. You can find us at _ Uncanny Valley. So we're working with a new slide deck. We had lost our slides, and I've got the controls here with me, and usually it doesn't work that way, but let's, worked out fairly well. Let's see. We have Tia Jane. Tia Jane, you have a question or a comment? You're on the air, and I feel like a radio host. What's going on to you? No? Okay, you got to press that consent button. Your microphone. There you go. What's up to you?
All right. When you were talking about the Black Void, I just remembered something that's happened to me only twice. The first time I was actually playing an Expert Plus level in Beat Saber.
Okay, sounds intense.
And so it was right in the middle of my screen. It was this like black pixely glitch thing.
Okay, I've had that happen. It kind of looks like a box.
Kind of.
Yeah. I just figured I was so awesome at Beat Saber, I broke it. That's what I was thinking.
But I still beat the level, by the way.
Nice. All right, that's dedication right there. You all play Beat Saber, you gotta fight hard just like that. You gotta be like Tia Jane there. You know, it gets intense. So what do you do to solve it?
Well, I closed Beat Saber and opened it back up.
And that worked?
Yep.
Cool.
And
so
if that doesn't work,
button. Yeah.
If that doesn't work, usually I'll restart the headset.
Yeah, and that's a good policy for anything that can happen, right? What you're going to want to do is if, for example, something goes wrong, right? Just remember, your first thing you want to do is eject, right? That bottom button on the right controller. And if that doesn't work, then do keep concentration pose where you actually restart the device. That's going to take care of like almost all the problems you can have. All right, let's see who else do we have. We have Ben. Ben, you're on the air. What's going on, Ben? Ben, where are you, Ben?
How do you broadcast video on the screen like that?
Well, right now, we used to have built-in Altspace, these displays, all right? And they were pretty easy to work with, and you'd connect them to slides.com, and some people used Google Slides, but there was a big security loophole with it because the browser was forced to remove them temporarily. And what's going to happen is they're going to be bringing in some new ones, but while we wait for them, a user in the community by the name of Ben, which is kind of an odd coincidence given your name, right, has allowed us to use this this panel here that it brings in the slide. All right, and so we've been using that temporarily. And what you would do is in the world builder, you would put in the link for this, what's called an MRE. And if you'd like to learn more about that, if you join the Altspace Discord, or if you join our Discord, we can help you out with that. Or if you go to the SDK meetup on Wednesdays and Thursdays, you can find out more about it. But you put in this address, and that brings the program in, and then you just put the link in, and it loads the slides in. You know, and then you get a little control panel up on the, wherever you can put it. Actually, you can move it around. Like right now, mine's over there. You can't see it though, and allows you to control the slides right from the stage. So that helps with that. All right, everybody, we are about out of time. So if you guys have any more questions or comments, we usually take everybody flying at the end of our events, teach you guys how to fly. And the way we do this is we have a cool transition here, and I've lost the button. Morgan, if you don't mind pushing this button for me over here, because I've lost control over it.
Ravenhall Talon aircraft en route to your position.
Now, if you look at the window, you'll see a Ravenhall Talon hovercraft going down the street and up over the trees there, and we'll go outside and we'll meet it as it comes in. All right, this will take us out to the Ravenhall Flight Academy. We'll teach you guys how to fly. But listen, if you've learned anything here today, please tell everybody you come in contact with. Like, if somebody's standing low in the ground, you're like, what's wrong? And they're like, I'm on a quest, I'm stuck on the ground. You just tell them to press down on that left thumbstick. They'll pop up and they'll feel better. You'll feel better because you help somebody, right? And that's how we help keep this thing going. All right, here we go.
Talon aircraft is now boarding outside for transport to the Ravenhall Flight Academy. Please exit the building and step into the blue light. Thank you.
All right, everybody. You've been a great audience. I'll see you next time.